The Eternal Love of Elena and Leandro, a tale of unbroken bonds. Once, in a small, tranquil village nestled by the sea, there existed a love so profound it seemed to transcend the very nature of time itself. The villagers spoke of Elena and Leandro as if they were characters from an ancient legend, their love as eternal as the tides that kissed the shores each day. It was a love that whispered through the winds and danced in the leaves of the great oak tree perched on the edge of a cliff, where they met each evening. As the sun began its descent, Elena, the daughter of a humble fisherman, had lived her life among the simplicity of the village, where the rhythm of the sea was the heartbeat of her existence. Leandro, on the other hand, was a poet with a soul as deep and wild as the ocean. His eyes mirrored the stormy seas, ever-changing, yet always holding something inexplicably beautiful and untamed. His words, though few, captured the world in all its nuances, every joy, every sorrow, every fleeting moment. Together, they shared a love that was rare, the kind that felt destined and eternal. Their love blossomed in the quiet moments, the stolen glances, the soft smiles exchanged in the glow of the setting sun, and the shared dreams they whispered under the blanket of stars. For them, there was no storm fierce enough to tear them apart, no hardship that could dull the shine of what they shared. Their hearts beat as one, their souls intertwined in a bond that defied even the very idea of separation. But life, as it often does, brought a cruel twist to their fairy tale. Leandro, whose spirit was once as vigorous as the crashing waves, began to fall ill. What started as a mild cough soon turned into something more serious, draining his once vibrant energy. Elena, ever the devoted lover, stayed by his side through it all, reading him his poetry, singing the songs that filled his heart with joy, and whispering the promises of their future. She would tell him over and over that their love was unbreakable, that even in death, it would live on. They spoke of growing old together, walking hand in hand along the shore, their love growing even deeper with each passing year. Then, one autumn evening, as the sun kissed the horizon in a wash of golden hues, Leandro's body could no longer fight. He passed away quietly in Elena's arms, the sky seeming to weep with her, the wind carrying away the last breath of a man who had once filled the world with words and love. The world seemed to pause for a moment in grief. Elena's heart shattered, but amidst the pain, she made a vow to never let go. She refused to believe that their love could be severed, that death could claim him. And so, every evening, she returned to the cliffs where they had shared their most precious moments. Day after day, she sat by the oak tree, speaking to the wind, as if he might somehow hear her. Her eyes, though dry, reflected a sadness so deep it seemed to be carved into her very soul. The village watched her, helpless, as she waited for a love that had left the world, believing that somehow, in some way, he was still with her. Years passed, and Elena grew frail, her hair now silver and her steps slower. But her love for Leandro never wavered. It was as if she could feel him with her, in the rush of the waves, the softness of the breeze, the glow of each sunset. Her heart never stopped yearning, never stopped believing that love had a power beyond death, beyond time. Then, one evening, years after the village had forgotten the story of the two lovers, a strange and wondrous thing happened. Elena, now old and bent with time, walked to the cliffs one last time. The sunset painted the sky with vibrant shades of orange and pink, the sea shimmering like a mirror beneath the heavens. As the wind stirred, something remarkable occurred. A soft whisper, like a distant melody carried on the wind, reached her ears. It was a voice she knew too well, a voice she had longed to hear for so many years. Elena. Her heart skipped a beat, her breath caught in her throat. She turned, her eyes searching the empty horizon, but there was no one there. The wind whispered again, this time clearer, more intimate. "I've never left you. You are my eternity. Elena's breath caught in her chest, her heart swelling with emotion she could hardly contain. She closed her eyes, allowing the words to settle deep within her soul. It was as if, in that moment, everything had come full circle. The love she had held on to all these years unseen, but always felt had never truly left her. It had only transformed, transcending the boundaries of life and death. Her eyes opened, and she looked toward the sea, toward the wind. She could feel him beside her, as real as the earth beneath her feet. She smiled, her face softening in peace, and for the first time in years, she felt whole again. In that final moment, Elena whispered to the wind, her voice filled with a quiet certainty. I will wait for you. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the world in its final strokes of light, Elena, the woman who had loved so deeply, closed her eyes one last time. The villagers never saw her again, but the story of Elena and Leandro lived on, whispered by the wind, carried on the waves, etched into the earth where their love had once bloomed. To this day, as the ocean continues to crash against the cliffs, the villagers still speak of the two lovers who could not be torn apart by time, whose souls remained entwined beyond the physical realm. The wind, they say, still carries the soft echoes of their love, a love that, in its purest form, cannot die. And so, their story lives on, not just in the hearts of the villagers, but in the very elements of nature, forever whispering through the trees, forever carried on the breeze, a tale of love that will never be forgotten. Like, share, and subscribe.